listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. Lineage go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Penniage, Jim Crow, and mass incarceration. Redline and lynchings. We are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG the wise one. Cousin mother intellectual. Samantha bringing fire. Anti-black, we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country. To win, you need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Welcome to Reset Race, where we talk about race and politics and how they intersect when it comes to Black people, specifically the American Descendants of Slavery or freedmen or whatever you want to call us, foundational Black Americans. Depends on what you call us. Black Americans, you know who the hell we are. I almost used a bad word already. We're just getting started. All right. So again,
people whose ancestors picked the cotton.
Yeah, them folks. So I'm Michael Graham. I think I said it already from Actify Press, but we know, you know how we do around here. We've done enough shows. All right. So we're gonna let the team introduce themselves. Of course, we're gonna start ladies first because we cool like that. So we're gonna start off with Sam. Sam, talk to the people.
Okay, so I'm Sam. I'm here. I'm gonna try not to fall asleep because Brianna Greyjoy just is the driest person I've ever met. Like, she's so dry. I just can't. I don't know how y'all can do it. She is just the driest Black person I've ever seen. And yes, she's Black. She's 100% Black. She has 2 Black parents. She has been around Black people her whole life. She is Black and Black. She's just a traitor amongst Black folks, and she has bad Black politics. But she is Black. No, because she always talks about how people talk about how she's not Black and how people call her Uncle Tom and all this. None of that is coming her way from me. You are just an enemy. Your politics is terrible for Black people. It's good for like upper middle class people like yourself. But if you're like a poor Black person and you actually need politics to work out for you, you're not the one. Like, you said you slumming because you made more money when you was using your law degree. So you slumming, like being on YouTube and doing the shit you doing. Like, a lot of people, this they real life. Like, they can't just go and decide that they're gonna go get a good fucking job and go back to making money. Like, at any moment you can stop slumming with us peasants and go back to making real money. Just saying.
These are facts.
These are facts. So that's it. That's all I have to say. So yes, I did start with a throat punch, but I'm going to try to use my words and be very articulate about my disdain for Brianna, because I don't want to let her off the hook for people to be able to use other things instead of just talking about how she's a horrible human being.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair-ish. You're talking about Sam after all.
Yeah, good enough. All right, who's up?
All right, Mud, talk to him.
All right. They call me Mud. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter House, Clubhouse @ Lineage, Bitter Dose TV. New episode coming soon. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
My bad. I got caught slipping.
Nice. We all get caught slipping, nigga. You know how this is gonna happen.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? But anyway, though, like, yeah, man, this is John C. Back with the fam, man. I just had to take a little break, get my little thing together. You can follow me on Twitter at John Danny OC. I'm about to get back on there. You know, my fan need me. There's a lot of bullshit going on there, but I might as well go back on there, advocate for my fan. Reset Race fam, you already know. Senator Chattel Slavery, and we got Bree, and Reed today. That's gonna be fun. This is a good episode for me to come back on.
We're gonna be mad or fall asleep, one or the other.
You know what? I got a 40 ounce for this episode too. I got a 40 ounces in the freezer.
A whole 40.
I got a whole 40. I'm talking about the OE. It's cold and everything. It look like Menace Society over the fridge and this little. I got that for him. Yeah.
I have a half a bottle of wine. I done poured the whole thing into my wine glass. I'm already halfway down the wine glass because I'm just preparing for what this is gonna be. I swear I should have ordered some more for this.
You already know
this. It makes me want to drink. She do. It's not my fault.
It's crazy. All right, family.
Let's
moving
rock.
On. We
get
started.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna play it. Let's try to get, because I feel like they got to saying the real bullshit towards the end. So let's try to ride through as much as we can so we can get to the meat of it.
Let me let the people know what's going on here.
Yeah, for real.
This video is from Bree Show, whatever it is, the Bad Faith podcast.
Yeah, because she's a bad faith person.
The name of the video is Identity Politics, Black America, and the Left with Adolph Reed, Paul Prasad, and Dean Robinson. I remember.
Yo, look how oh Jesus! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut the intro off, but damn MG, God, what the?
Yeah, exactly. Smoking pot shit. All right, so it's from February 26, 2021. So if you want to look it up, that's what it is. Bad Faith Podcast, Identity Politics, Black America, and the Left with a clown car. All right, so let's go on. All right. All right, Sam, let's get started.
Here's what I want to ask you, Professor Reed. I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 99.9% on all of the critique of identity politics.
Okay.
You are like, obviously, the grandmaster of the identity politics discourse, and I'm with you. But I have observed that we take a different approach. My approach is to say in an article, let's say about identity politics, identity is important. People value their identities. People have been marginalized on the basis of their group identities for hundreds of years. And it makes sense for people to want to organize around those identities to restore the balance and challenge. And I do all of this pablum up top so that no one can accuse me of being racist because being Black doesn't make a difference. I definitely have had reviews that said, if Brianna weren't a white man, then I'd take her more seriously.
Right.
Truly, this is its comment on Daily Kos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And my feeling is that you get more flies with honey. And I know that so many people have so much respect for Obama and the legacy of the Kings are such that it is, and people who listen to this podcast were mad at me for the last episode because I said I went too soft on King.
Ah, okay.
my feeling, not everybody, but some people.
Yeah.
My feeling is that it is useful to be able to make that case, which I share with you about weaponized identity, in a way that doesn't make people feel like the racialized harms that they've been programmed to prioritize, and which I think are legitimately deeply felt by folks, because I do think that there's a certain kind of, antagonism. There's a certain kind of cruelty that one feels about being discriminated against on the basis of something, something that you really can't change, something intrinsic.
Right.
I'm always trying to figure out how to respect that and acknowledge that and not inflame people so much that they can't hear me when I say, okay, but not Neera Tanden. Okay, but not Kamala Harris. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder when, there are different people who are engaged in different projects. I'm out here on a campaign trying to talk to people on a bus. And you are writing academic papers and talking to classrooms, and it's a different kind of audience. But I wonder if you ever, how do you feel about the tightrope walk that I'm doing, and what's the decision making that you're going through about coming out guns blazing F MLK?
well, no, not
MLK's family. MLK's family.
right, because they have an back of leeches. Well, a lot of it has, I think, has to do with the audience that one is trying to address, and how. I'll say there's something else too, but I'll get to that in a second. I mean, regarding audience, like I'm not really trying to win like the hearts and minds of the identitarian Black PMC, right? Because for me, it's kind of like, I mean, doing that is kind of like trying to win people back from the Proud Boys or from the militia movement.
Yes, please.
Once,
Please.
No, you're
once you've
on
made,
point because I was about ready
We
to.
trying to let it
John,
ride.
start us
Come
off.
on, people. Go ahead, John.
John,
Yo,
start us
stop
off
it.
because you ain't been here in a while. So come on, John, lead us.
Hey yo, stop it. Hey yo, man. He's talking about well, first of all, left wing dog whistling. He's basically calling Black people that want to
Left-wing dog
put their
whistling, I love that
people
term.
first. It's left wing dog whistling. Identitarian. You know who you heard? I know where I heard it first. That I mean, a left person heard it. A left winger said it first. Was Sauger. So here come the identitarian this, identitarian that. When it's the dynamic is different between our culture. I mean, our people and other peoples in this country, as we all know.
Yeah.
But like, I think what they about to get into is shit with this identity politics shit. Like, Joy is trying to find like Adolph Reed. Like how do you try to like diminish? Like, how do you put your people down to be in the class struggle basis, but like don't do it in a way that I'm putting my people down? This is the question she asked Adolph Reed. Adolph Reed, like, we just put your people down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was basically asking like, oh, so I just try to manipulate Black people by saying shit that they would want to hear, but I don't mean that shit. Y'all caught that too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bud, you want to go next? Or John, were you done? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you.
No, I'm done.
Go ahead, Mud. You want to jump in there?
I mean, yeah, you said it. She basically said, I just say this stuff because I know it's a way to manipulate Black people by talking about this stuff, but I don't actually mean it. And then she goes on to say, like, it's weird because like she's talking out both sides of her mouth when she's talking about this stuff. Like, she understands the idea of people mobilizing around the injustices that have been placed on people who share their identity. She understands that, and she understands the concept of people basically creating politics to right those injustices. And then she tries to compare it to, like, I guess, tokenism, because she says near a tandem or whoever, like, that's the same thing. Like, those people getting elevated.
Near a tandem and Barack Obama. She said Barack Obama too.
And Kamala Harris. She said Kamala Harris too. Like,
they're all the same person.
Like,
I'm convinced.
No, keep going, man. Keep going.
Yeah, these things aren't the same thing. Like, if we're talking about injustices around redlining, Barack Obama getting elected is not this. Like, that's not the solution. These are not comparable. They're not in the same realm. So, like, it's just a way to minimize any fight against racism. But they think they're justified in doing it because I guess they're going about it from a different angle. They're fighting injustice from a different angle. So therefore, any injustices around racism are irrelevant.
Mud, so can we flesh this out a little bit further, or maybe MG, you can answer this. So they did change identity politics from, because originally I thought identity politics was like what we were doing, right? It was like, you focus on getting things for your group, your demographic, and that's what you're fighting for. But then now it seems like they've turned it into like tokenism, which I think it's not, Bree. I think it's the Democratic Party in general that's done that. But when did this happen?
I think this goes hand in hand with a theory that I sort of kind of started fleshing out today on Clubhouse of all places. I think no matter how we feel about the 808 movement did more or less a soft reset on race and politics, right? Who and what we are as descendants of slaves came to the forefront, and nobody knew how to handle it, right? So the left was depending on this issue to go away. That's been their whole plan for like 8 years, right? Make race go away and make and bring class to the fore. And this, what we're seeing now, is the backlash or a new type of reset, so they can get back on top by pushing race down and bringing class to the forefront, so they can go on with their project and leave us buried in the dirt. And I think this is more people. This is more of. I mean, our whole show is basically watching these people scramble as a reaction to what the ADOS movement created, and there's really no putting that genie back in the bottle. Did I kind of answer your question, Samantha, or did I?
Yeah, you definitely answered my question.
Yeah. So yeah. I think Again, I think this is just them. This is the backlash to what the ADOS movement wrought. And we were all part of it, and it was a crushing blow to American politics, and nobody on either side of the aisle or either side of the spectrum has recovered, right? And we've got to keep pushing to keep them from recovering, right? So they really don't know what to do with us, which is a good thing.
We're not going to take it.
Exactly.
Hey, I guess I wanted to also answer that question because
my answer was good enough, man. See,
no, nigga, shut up.
Here you go.
Yeah, I agree with you about all of that.
I'm just messing with you, but
I just think it's been a tactic that, John's been bringing up the dog whistles on the left. This is like their tactic where they say identity politics and people get in their mind that they're talking about tokenism, when really switch it at any time to talk about any discussion about racial injustice. Like that's the so, like, especially with Adolph Reed and Breonna, that's the game that they're really playing. Like they're out there in the front line, and they can dismiss any claims about racial injustice because they're Black people. But also when they do it and hide behind buzzwords like identity politics, you're not really clear what the fuck they're actually talking about. You think they're talking about tokenism or symbolic shit, when really they're talking about ignore any racial injustice. Let's just talk about some socialistic class shit.
Some class shit that doesn't even help poor white people.
Yeah, they're just trying to hammer this genie back in the bottle, but this genie's out, and he ain't going back in until we get our 3 fucking wishes.
Yeah, and don't let me convince poor white people that they deserve money too. Then the country be all kinds of fucked up.
All kinds of fucked up.
Have angry poor ass white people and a bunch of poor ass angry niggas. That is a revolution.
Facts. All right, family, we're moving on to the next phase. Are we all good?
Yeah.
No, we're all miserable having to watch these motherfuckers. But
absolutely.
Let me not say that too many times. The last time I said that too many times, we got that 18+ rating.
Once you've made the commitment, then you made the commitment. And my objective is to try to connect with people before they make the commitment, or people who haven't made the commitment, and frankly, I spend more time talking to working people than I do.
And they don't mind when you say things like
Obama
sucks, or things that we all agree with. Please.
This is kind of what I was saying earlier of a very dangerous mistake people, and I'm going to say mostly white leftists are making, that, the way to connect to people of color, workers of color, is you got to use race language. You got to do, and it's like, that's actually not the problem.
But we're not talking about race language right now. We're talking about kind of taking aim. Look, my mother was a Green Party voter her whole life. Obama was the first Democrat she ever voted for. But it took until recent.
That is telling.
I want to pause.
Voting green is a privilege.
But do you see how she just spent the conversation? She just spun it, right? So he wanted to get into he wanted to get in and actually talk about race and this and that, and then she's spinning it now to get it back on the people. So Mud was 100% on point. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
and he was about to fuck up anyway. Go ahead, Mud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was also going to talk about Adolph Reed and this shit where he's like just comparing anyone who is concerned about fighting for racial justice with like being the equivalent to, or I guess the Black version of the Proud Boys. Like, this is insanity. Like, I don't understand how he gets to just do this because we're concerned about racial issues. The fact that it's even race is even a factor, we're the same as Nazis. like, it's this weird thing that he's allowed to get away with, and no one checks him on it, and they just skip past it and act like it's all the same conversation about tokenism and symbolism, when it's he has a deeper disdain going on with this shit.
Yeah, and they just want to give us different symbols. You know what I mean? And they want to be the tokens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. Mud, I'm sorry, you done, Mud?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, John, what you got, man?
Yeah, man. I feel like y'all right, man. Like you already know, y'all cooking them, putting them on the grill, but man, like I think what you said about Adolph Reed, kind of like basically what they're trying to do is act like specific black. What it could be like, we're talking about getting real shit, tangible shit specific to us, though. They compare that to tokenism. Yeah, and only us. Like, I mean, just because that's what all other groups do. Like, this is just, you know what I mean? Like, this is just natural. This is just how America works. Like, we just focusing on ourselves, and we understand that if we focus on ourselves, we get what we're supposed to get, then the country elevates, because if you elevate us, then all that equality and all that other shit, you feel me? Like, you living up to your standards now. You feel me? As what you promised motherfuckers now. So now other people gonna be like, yo, give me my, what? You gave the niggas what? So now, see that we trying to open up. We don't say the quiet part. We don't say the loud part. You feel me? Like, we don't want to say it out loud. It's the quiet, it's the purpose. You know, we don't want to say it out loud. You should know what we fucking trying to do. Like, but Adolph Reed, like, I feel like that's right. He's trying to call us an identitarian. It's basically saying like, yo, black people that's on that get black shit, they kind of like neo-Nazis and the whites that stormed the Capitol. This way, you feel me? This is what they projected, but he black too. So the white left like, oh, thank God Adolph Reed said it, because I always felt like this. It's too black sometimes. And, oh, so black. And Adolph Reed comes and makes me feel better. And oh, I love Adolph. And that's why they come at us like, man, fuck Adolph, man. Nobody want to hear this shit, man. What Uncle Reed talking about, man. That's all I got to say. You already know you know what he's doing. He know what he's doing. Bree know what they doing. And then white left know. We know why they love him. You know what I'm saying? We know why y'all love him.
That's it, and that's all. We know why they love him.
Facts. What you got, Sam?
I don't know. I've been chiming in, like, you know, she hasn't gotten to the point where I really want to roast that ass, and I started off roasting that ass. So I'm gonna let her go a little bit more. For a minute. No, you know, she's just an enemy, right? Like, we are not on the same team. Like, I don't rock with Brianna, because Brianna's out for self. Like, her politics don't reflect poor black people. They reflect her own politics, which I get it, because as a black woman, but again, like Mud said it before, because I said originally, I was like, well, you know, but they put her out front, but she knows she's trying to segue herself as like, no, you should listen to me because I'm black and I'm going to talk to the black people for you. But you don't know how to speak to me. You don't know how to speak to me as a black person who cares about poor black people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, all this identitarian and Proud Boy shit, it's the same shit all over again, trying to connect us. It's the same shit we hear from people. Everybody that comes at us the same way. At the end of the day, it's all the same shit, trying to connect us to Trump, trying to connect us to the right wing, trying to connect us to the Proud Boys, trying to connect us to the Minutemen. All this shit. It's all the same shit. They're trying to spin our fight for liberation into some sort of right wing project, right? In order to undermine it. And at the end, and you know, when it's all said and done, this is all because our argument is so damn strong. Again, we're in the backlash phase. They're trying to we're in the backpedal phase, because they tried to backlash and we pushed the hell back. Nice. Go ahead.
But it took until recently, until she was like warning me, oh, Brianna, like maybe don't go so hard, you know, like caveat it a little more if you're going to talk about John Lewis.
I think you definitely have to be smart about it. Yeah. You know, but again, I mean, I think the reality is, though, a lot of what we're saying, again, in the context of conversations in the union, we're really not even talking much about identity politics per se. We're just straightforward issues. And it is, you know, it is like, instead of thinking, well, if we're in a city like Philadelphia as a DSA chapter, let's get involved with fighting austerity and public's, you know, defending the public sector and the labor movement. That is going to automatically put you more in a working relationship with people of color who honestly are not going to be really caring.
Why do people always talk about the labor movement like we don't have trouble getting jobs and being in unions in the first fucking place? Like,
Get
why
him,
do they
Sam.
act like such a
Get him,
large part of
Sam.
our population isn't unemployed, even in the best of times?
Get him, Sam. We face double A unemployment in the white community every time, all the
I'm just
time.
saying, they just always talk about this union shit, but I've read these black labor books. We've been doing these dance with these fucking white people in these unions forever, and y'all always sell us out at the end of the day. And that's why the labor movement in the United States is as fucked as it is, because y'all stay fucking over black people and they use that to fuck y'all over.
Yep, every
Exactly.
time.
Like,
Every time.
books have been written. Like, you can read Workers on Arrival. You can read the other book that I keep reading, which is like, what's it, like Black Labor History or something like that? I'm about to find it. I'll send you the book cover, Mud.
Yeah. Mud, what you got? Go ahead, Mud,
I totally agree with Sam. Like, when they talk about labor, they talk about it as if, especially when they're talking about it and trying to have this conversation about racial issues, they talk about it as if we're having the same participation in the labor market as other groups, when we're not. And we all know it because usually we end up in, jobs where we're the only Black person there, or we're among a small minority of Black people. And it's usually we're in different offices and all types of shit going on. But even beyond that, like when you have a union job, I don't know why they act like everyone participates in the union. There's a lot of Black people that go into these union spaces and realize they're racist too, and then don't participate in the union. Like, they might have the union job and they might show up at work every day under the same protection of the union, but they don't participate because they see the bullshit. They want to see this thing through the tunnel vision of their class analysis, but they're just alienating us. That's all this shit does, and they keep doubling down on this shit, and it's getting them nowhere. And I wish I could have a serious conversation with one of these motherfuckers, but I think they're so brainwashed that even if I convince them that they're going to completely lose the support of Black people, they will push for it anyway.
But I agree, Mud. But I mean, it's very strange that between the dynamic between you and I'm going to be the one that's a little more dour than you. This is new.
Oh,
this is new territory.
It's getting real.
This is new territory. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, they know. I honestly believe they know they're fucking us over, and I think most of them are fine with it. Bottom line, I mean, as y'all know, I've been dealing with these folks for a long time. Every once in a while, a few of them would peek their heads up and say, yeah, this is fucked up. But then they go right back into that bubble, Sorry, MG, gotta go. Like their mom called them back. You know what I mean? But yeah, they know. Honestly, I don't think there's any hope for the left. What purports to be the left in the United States anyway. Sorry, Mud.
I'm just saying, I think it's I understand from a certain perspective, them just being like, well, I don't give a fuck about Black problems because it doesn't affect me personally. I actually understand that perspective to a certain degree. But this thing where I'm not going to be able to even get my political thing across because I can't get the support of this certain group of people that I need. So I'm not going to even try to force through my political agenda because I'm just going to sabotage myself because I can't bring myself just to the realization that I need these people.
Yep.
That's real. That's real. It's some real shit, man. What's Sam at, sis? Where you at, sis?
She don't want to talk to us.
No, I'm over here agreeing with I'm over here amening and humming. No, because we went through a lot. We were all on Twitter fighting this battle out during this last election. And we went through hell with these fucking white leftists, these fucking people of color leftists, and none of them gave a fuck about us. Very few did.
Yep,
so
very few did.
We know what it is. And then they're mad at us when we turn around and say we have no friends. But it's like, no, we should all be together. No, because when we try to get you to be with us on our issues, you tell us to go fuck ourselves. So fuck your issue.
Exactly.
Fuck your couch, nigga.
Yeah, exactly. and that's the thing. We're in a new space where such a large chunk of us are so vocal about this fuck you shit. You know, because we are all on some fuck you stuff. You know what I mean? Because these motherfuckers have gone years without listening to us, and we went along and said, you know what, we're gonna be cool with these folks. You know, I mean, myself in particular, I was like, hey, you know, among the people on this side of the spectrum, Bernie's policies are the best for my people. I'm gonna ride with that. But when an opportunity arises for them not only to become better on our issues, but to pick up a large proportion of a group that's the most important group for presidential politics in the United States. At the very least, you force the Democrats to the table because you're taking a chunk of their votes that would make them president. You know what I mean? If you're not going to jump over that political broom, that means you're cool with my genocide.
That's it. And they are. Yeah. And that's the thing. A lot of people just don't care. Like if we die out, they don't care. They don't. And that's fine, but fuck your babies too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Hey,
we gotta have some real conversations these days.
What do you say, Mud?
All right. I'm gonna play some more of this video so we won't be here all night.
John, did you go? Did John go?
I went.
All right. I'm old. Y'all can't go by me. All right, let's go.
Like I said, we got plenty more roasting to do anyway. They're going to say some more bullshit.
Who honestly are not going to be really caring the specifics of all the language you use.
Yeah, I mean, the white staffers are the ones who are most likely to be woke, right?
Right. And people, and this is where I'm saying this is like a dangerous thing where people are thinking, this is the trick to get to the black people. You got to say the right thing. I'm like, no, it's something else. And I mean, I'll give a great... It's also about what people care about. I'll use my dad as an example. So he's public school teacher, one of like literally 2 black teachers in a K-12 district. So you can imagine he would not use the term microaggressions. I mean, he's 70 years old. He wouldn't use that term, but the big file that we all have of bullshit from white people. You can imagine.
Before he goes any further, his father is 70 years old. I need you not to use a 70-year-old black person as your analogy at this moment in time. No, do you understand what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Completely different thing. 70, you're not a boomer. Are you a boomer? Or are you on the bubble? Like, no, that's like silent generation damn near, right? You're like on the cusp.
Yep.
So not silent, not silent generation, the great generation. No, the great generation. No, it's the great generation. Because my great grandmother was born in the silent generation. My grandmother is the great generation. And then after that, it's the boomers. Greatest generation. So you talking about somebody who is in the greatest generation when we have like millennials and Gen Zers that are fucked. Yeah. Like literally millennials have been through like 3 economic crashes since they graduated.
And that's the thing though. Every one of these motherfuckers on here can go on Twitter and have people their age, or listen to this show, people their age telling them what's what. You know, hey, we're not taking that shit no more. We're telling you exactly what black folks want.
You talking about your old ass daddy.
Yeah, you got we got polls telling you exactly what black folks want. What are we at? Like 70% on reparations?
More 80 in the 80s. Yeah, with black people, it's in the 80s, yeah.
Exactly. And I'm like, so you got all these people who are your age, who are viable voters for your particular candidate or in your side of the spectrum, who are willing to come to you, but you talking about your daddy? Nigga. I can say that now. I know he's half black. At least
your old ass daddy. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing this shit.
I'm just saying though, like real quick, like why would a 70-year-old be talking about microaggressions? In what situation like that's like something
that's because at 70, you remember when they could really just like put hands on you or fucking kill you.
I'm saying, but that's like shit I just learned about in the last 5 years.
Right.
And I'm learning that from 20-year-old. How the fuck is a 70-year-old gonna know this shit? Why would you even put them in this conversation?
What's a microaggression jive, Turkey?
Get off me, Jack. You getting a microaggression, Jack. You heard me, Jack? Heard me, sucker? Microaggression, sucker.
No, he's like, we
God,
didn't have
you can't do
microaggressions. They hosed us down and
Microaggressions.
sick dogs on us. That was the aggression. There was no micro.
All right, John, you got anything on this?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just thought that, like, remember we did an episode before. I don't know we put it out, but I told y'all that's J Cole brother, like that's J Cole little brother. Family, get them out the family and shit. I knew it was J. I'm like,
now
yo,
you
girl,
know.
like,
now we all know.
Now we know. J Cole anti-left black brother that he done disbanded. So that's him. All right.
All right.
All right, let's go. Let's listen to the rest of this.
And I've heard him all my life complain about that stuff. But it's like, if he were to be asked what should a political group be focusing on, what his main concerns are is his pension. He just turned in his retirement letter today.
Good for him. Congratulations.
His keeping his pension. I mean, the debt, the student debt that his 2 kids are under. So, I mean, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but I think I think it does get dangerous. Some people try to split the difference with identity, and I've seen it so many times just lead, the train goes the same place, and that's saying, I mean, the vivid example is, well, Elizabeth Warren talked about Black women's health, therefore she is.
But
I think I know, Brownie, you're not doing that, but I'm saying like people start thinking they can split the difference, and then more I've just become more hardline. I'm like, I know where this leads every time. This leads to you.
Yeah, Auschwitz is where it leads ultimately.
And well before that, it leads to
what the fuck?
What the fuck is Adolf Reed's?
To the most demographic and the most important demographic in the fucking country when it comes to presidential politics is now equivalent to letting the Nazis loose.
Which, remember, again, I will say this over and over again, the Nazis learned from the United States how to do what they did. They just took it to the next level. Okay? So you talk about we gonna do what white people taught Nazis how to do, what white Americans in white America taught Nazis how to do? Is that what you're saying? You saying Black folks gonna do that with no power?
Mud, what you got, man?
I mean, I don't know what the fuck is saying. This motherfucker is taking a scenario where Elizabeth Warren was basically talking about addressing like the inequality and maternity rates and stuff like that. The Black women are dying more from pregnancy than other groups. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct. And it doesn't get better with you having more money. Because remember, Serena Williams almost had some serious issues because they wouldn't listen to her, and that's a rich one.
So that's the basis of what they're trying to do. They're actually trying to benefit people who are obviously being oppressed by the system based on the outcomes of people dying more. And trying to do is that saying that by helping or trying to solve this problem of oppression, you're actually committing a Holocaust. That's
to do anything for Black people is white genocide and Holocaust.
This is crazy.
God, these motherfuckers have degrees. I'm so glad you guys have y'all got like full degrees. Like I went to culinary school and y'all know, and I know y'all stupid.
I got 2 high school diplomas. I don't know what's going on. I got a GED and a high school diploma, and I got a solar panel certificate. I got for $5. These motherfuckers don't know what they talk about, man. They don't even know what they talk about, bro. Like, hey yo, bro. And the thing about it, you want to talk about Nazis and shit like that, right? And the Auschwitz and you talking about Black issues is like it's gonna lead you real talk. That tokenism gonna lead you back to Auschwitz. We talk what? Like the thing about it, son. Like what you gotta understand is that during Jim Crow and shit, during the war, when Nazi prisoners of war, they got sent back to America. Guess what they had them doing? Sharecropping as a punishment, sharecropping and shit like that. And then they had them sharecropping, but that was their punishment to sharecrop. And then Then they would have leave. They was treating them more humane than Negroes that lived in that same place for hundreds of years. They was getting on the bus, go to the, like, all right, you got some R&R time because of the Geneva Convention. You could sit at the front of the movie theater. They treated Nazi prisoners of war so good that some of them niggas stayed down in the South doing Jim Crow, motherfuckers. They stayed there. That's how good they was getting treated. It was like, man, fuck that. Germany fucked up. They done blew that shit up. I'm staying here. Ran away, stayed there. You feel me? Like, real shit. Like, yeah, that shit crazy. Like, you treating these motherfuckers better than my grandfather that fought in World War II. Nazis that was down with that Auschwitz shit. Treating them, you feel me, in America. These motherfuckers don't know what the fuck he read. He's just saying shit just to say that shit, man.
And let's go further, right? We can't get them to give us reparations, but we're gonna be able to march the majority of the population into camps and ovens. Come at me, bro. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. Like, so we can't get y'all to pay reparations. We can't get y'all to stop mass incarcerating us. We can't get y'all to, we barely got y'all to stay black. But we got enough power that we gonna march the majority population into bondage. Okay. The only way that happening is if all us niggas get on this hoodoo shit. But without some serious ancestral energy work, I don't see that happening.
Well, I'm telling you. And the thing is, it kills me because he says this with a straight face. And he says this around people and they just react like he said something normal.
I'm just going to say this. Y'all keep saying we need to focus on class. What is the class policy that raises the bottom 15, 20% of people out of poverty in this country? All people.
They don't have one.
Because we in the bottom. We're poorer than white people. So if you really do this class thing, we would actually get affected, but you're not. So quit fucking blowing smoke up my ass. If you're going to do a class policy, then get the class policy pushed through. Make niggas' lives better. And then you can be like, see, stupid niggas, we told you that this class shit would work. And for the people at the bottom, like, well, you know, this was a start. We still want some more. Mm-hmm. But you did piss on us a little bit and it rained. So we're all right.
Yeah, but it's not just that, but get anything pushed through. What has the left gotten pushed through in the last decade?
Nothing. Bombs.
Nothing.
Guns and bombs.
It was two shows, but at least HR 40 got 2 hearings. You know what I mean? So
and the Republican healthcare plan.
They got nothing to show for since Bernie started, for 10 years of the last since Bernie stood up and the left got a little Viagra into their fucking movement. Nothing. They've gotten nothing. Not even lip service. The closest thing to anything they've gotten, and it's not even theirs, is this George Floyd Act that got through the House. Mm-hmm. That's the closest thing to anything resembling the left has gotten.
Because they're just not fighters. They're weak.
No, they're not.
They're controlled opposition. It's obvious. This is a big game. Mm-hmm. And it's time for people just to opt out. Like, realistically, like, you know, I'm all for, like, you know, telling people to call the congressman and doing all this shit for HR 40. But realistically, we need to be organizing. We need to be organizing strikes. And I like what that little revolutionary group was talking about. Like, don't take your stupid ass out here in the street and be protesting and striking and get beat up by the police. No, sit your ass at home, turn off the news, pull out the old big thing of DVDs that you don't watch no more and watch that shit for a week. That's what we need people to do.
Yep.
So this shit can crumble and they can come to their knees and actually give us what we need as the people. But this being in the street protesting shit don't work. White people did the shit. Black people did the shit all summer, didn't work. The only thing that's going to work is fucking general strikes. That's really where we're at. But nobody really want to do the work to do that.
Hit them in the pocket. I mean, a part of that is a lot of people are just desperate. You know what I mean? And I think that's also behind that's one of their biggest fears. If they start giving people money every month, they'll be healed enough to say, okay, I'm going to sit on my ass and stay home and let this shit crumble for a minute. You know, so as long as people are desperate and hungry and scared, they're gonna grasp for anything they can get their hands on. It is what it is. All right, anybody else got anything before we go on?
Well, I just wanted to say to Sam's point and to your point, MG, like they just haven't had the right strategy on the left.
Not at all.
Like they really could have courted us in a way to win this time. But they keep thinking that they're going to convert the white working class, and they've been selling the same shit to them for the past 8 years and really beyond, because a lot of these healthcare things, like these are old ideas that have been floating around for, decades. So like you keep trying to sell it to the white people, and the white people don't want it. And the reason why the white people don't want it is because we're going to get it.
I'm going to go further, Mud. I'm going to go further. I don't want to cut you off, but it's not even that. A lot of those white people used to drink this Kool-Aid, and they see that y'all aren't about what you say you're about. So they're just like, why would I keep, at least they're not promising me shit besides my racism and my fucking, my racism, getting rid of abortions and social issues. At least they're talking about my shit that I want to hear. They're not giving me shit, but at least they're talking about shit that matters to me. Unlike you, who sits here and tells me that you care about me, and then you keep shipping my jobs overseas and you keep telling me to go fuck myself, right? So it's just a big fucking, it's a clusterfuck. Like, really.
And we just saw, and Biden's not even on the left. The House just shot down his immigration bill. You know what I mean? And the left is dependent on immigration and I don't know what they're dependent on. They're dependent on immigration and getting white people to defect. That's what they're dependent on.
But see, that strategy hasn't been working for them either. Like, none of their strategies have worked.
Not a one.
Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, they thought they were going to win over some of the white people that were going to help them take over the Democrat Party. That didn't happen. They thought they were going to win over enough immigrants that were going to help them take over the Democrat Party. That didn't happen.
Nope. And that's why Biden's giving him their ass to kiss right now. Like, oh, you didn't want to vote for me? Fuck your family.
Exactly. And they ignored us. And we didn't shift over. They lost, and now, I mean, we're dealing with the same shit we've been dealing with.
And we didn't only not shift over, we shifted to the right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black folks shifted right.
I think we're gonna shift again. I think we're going to shift again, because if we go through this 2 years, people are already pissed that they're not getting that those $2,000 checks. If we go through this 2 years and we come out of COVID, and because the thing about it is everybody's talking about COVID being over, but once COVID's over, we still got to deal with a lot of these fucking places aren't coming back. So the economy is not going to just jump back to being booming. So we're looking at people having long-term unemployment for like a year and a half after this. So if people's lives aren't better by the midterms, there's going to be a fucking bloodbath.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is what it is. I mean, we're going unserved. So people are shifting right. You know, at first I'm like, man, I don't think black folks are gonna go, to the Trump side. But they did.
Yeah.
They did. That should have been a clarion call for the left. But they ignored that too.
And we got to go further with that, right? We're not even talking about all the people that are just dropping out because they're apathetic and they just don't give a fuck anymore.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, we're losing so many people. Like, we need people in the fight. We can't get people in the fight because people are just like, this shit's stupid. It's never going to get better.
Yeah, I'm wasting my time spinning my wheels. I take a day off work that I can't afford to go fucking vote. And at the end of the day, I don't get shit. My people nothing changes for my people. What the fuck? Why am I voting?
Like, the only thing they seem like they want to do in this country is bomb other countries and fucking give money to Wall Street. Like, that's pretty much this country's MO.
Make rich people richer, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. John, what you got, man?
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mud. Go ahead, Mud.
Well, I was just going to say, it doesn't help that the left protests never really seem to do anything. Like Occupy Street was a failure.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, Obama's the one that shut their ass down. Keep going, man.
And Black Lives Matter. Like we all respect the mission as far as like advocating for justice in these modern day lynchings, but as far as actually changing stuff, like anything in a tangible way, any laws, policies, nothing has fucking changed.
Yep.
So like a lot of people are they're losing interest. They're shifting to the other side because they want fucking victories.
Yeah, that's true. People get tired of losing all the time.
Yep. Even when they win, they lose. I mean, the Democrats won, quote unquote, got Trump out of office. Yay!
And we're losing. And you
shit.
see that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, people see it. I mean, it is what it is. But that's it, Sam. You good?
No, I'm just saying, you see it on Twitter. You see all these people are just pissed off. It's like you vote for the Democrats, and what do you get? Nothing. Mm-hmm. So what was the point?
John, what you got, man?
Y'all all right. Like, all y'all right, man. Like, it's just we just lost so much. Everybody, especially our people, we so disillusioned now. We so fucked up now. Coming from, first of all, we came out the Bush era. Like, that's the era I come out of. Like, in the Clinton era too. Like, this shit is crazy. It never stopped though. But like coming out the Bush era with the war on terror, Katrina, the Bush tax cuts. You feel me? Like real shit out of that Bill Clinton era with the welfare reform. Then you come into motherfucking the Obama era with austerity and the fucking economy, and Obama ain't doing shit for black people who just really ain't doing nothing for us. That gave resentment, and not even just for us, like just for overall Americans. Like he really, feel me? Like real shit, he fucked up. Then that's why you get Trump. Now you got Trump doing, you feel me? Trump just, you feel me? Everybody just so disillusioned. They fucking with Trump, and Trump just out of control, wild. And then you get Joe Biden. You get Jim Crow Joe, and everything's still fucked up. So it's like, everybody been, you feel me? Like everybody disillusioned. People was looking for some type of hope. And the left keep acting like they just beacon their hope, like they gonna give us what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like they gonna steer this country in the right way. You know, at the time with the squad, anytime we see lefties getting the power, they doing the same bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like they doing the same bullshit, and they ignoring black people's needs, and they need us to fucking win. So it's like real shit. Like, do they want to win or get power? Like, and I think that Mud, Sam, MG, I answered the question. Like, they just really want to get, you feel me? They just want to be the ones controlling shit. They feel me? Like, they're not really trying to change shit. They just want to be the ones in control.
So, yeah, that's all it is. They saw all these people aging out of Congress. And they were like, okay, it's time for this sea change. And that's what they're trying to take advantage of. But at the end of the day, nobody's getting anything out of it. Like the squad had the power to take down Nancy Pelosi. They didn't. They had the power to force the vote. They didn't. So, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. You know, well, other than they're not going to do what the fuck we need them to do.
Just more controlled opposition. That's it.
Absolutely.
It's like everybody's out here playing a game, right? And we it's that wrestling analogy just over and over and over again, right? Yep. The shit's all fake and everybody's getting paid by the same people. It's entertaining at times, but the shit is still fake.
That's a fact.
And it's like, and I hate to feel like American politics is becoming like that, but like, you know, you liked wrestling when you was a kid, then you realized the shit was fake. You watched it for a little bit after you realized it was fake, but then he was like, this is kind of like a fighting soap opera and I'm bored. So you move on.
Real's going away.
Hey, how you think you just crushed my childhood, Sam? I love Randy Macho Man Savage, nigga. I thought it was real.
I started watching wrestling late, but it's a perfect analogy for this. And like I said, wrestling's entertaining as fuck. Especially at a certain age, and when you're into it, that shit's entertaining. Like I said, it's a big ass fucking soap opera with fucking fighting. Like that shit's entertaining. Great choreography. I'm here for the shit.
Somebody spraying another person with a fire hose full of beer. Come on, man.
I was angry. I was angry in my teens, like seeing people just hitting motherfuckers with chairs. I was like, yeah.
Mankind putting the sock in your mouth. I come for that era, the raw era. It was raw, nigga. The rock,
young folks.
Yeah. So it's just
I came to wrestling with Bruno Sammartino and battling Bobby Backlund. That's how Look up battling Bobby Backlund in a chicken wing and Bruno Sammartino. Yes, sir.
That
The
nigga
American boy battling Bobby
old
Backlash.
school, bro.
Yeah,
That
old
black
school
and white.
Damn near.
Right.
That's a black and
Damn
white
you,
TV. You had to
bud.
fix the Hagen to watch that MG.
Damn you, bud. All
That's
your
real.
friends.
That's
Damn young people.
All right. Let's keep going because
Let's go.
we still got a lot.
Yeah,
We're not even
unfortunately.
halfway through yet.
Don't tell the people that they cut
It
out.
leads to sowing unnecessary doubt about our
That's right.
movement. Sowing
That's right.
sowing
That's
doubt,
right.
second guessing instead of
Right.
trusting that we
Right.
are on the right path. And I can't. So many times people who should have known better, and where the clear, obvious thing to do,
Right.
if you were anywhere on the left during the Bernie campaign, was throw yourself into it. And this kind of stuff just sows doubt.
Right.
And again, I'm not talking about the most ridiculous version of it, but
Right.
so I don't know. And again, obviously, we're talking to an ordinary person. Like, yeah, I'm not going to be trashing
Right.
Obama
No, right,
like that,
right.
But yeah, I think people are making a mistake in terms of what they think people actually are caring about.
A few years ago at the DC Labor Film Festival, they showed Make Wine, the John Sayles film about a West Virginia mining strike. And at the end of the showing, Sayles happened to be there, Sayles was there, and he answered questions afterward. And one of the first people who got up was a young white woman who was a union staffer. I won't mention the union, but she catechized him and asked him why he had this device of this black miner who was played by James Earl Jones, who in the story, they'd been brought up from Alabama as scabs, and they didn't realize that's why they'd been brought up till they got there. And the black workers organized and joined forces with the Polish workers, I think, for the strike. So the woman asked him why he employed this device when everybody knew that the Polish workers hated the black workers and they were racist. And Sayles says to her, well, I'm sorry, but this guy was real, the story was real. But I'm thinking, okay, so like this is a woke union staffer.
No, I watched that movie. It's a good movie. And she asked the question and he answered it. He should have answered it better. What he should have answered, instead of saying this was a real story, is he should have said, I chose to keep this. Well, he should have said, this is a real story. And the reason that it's important that this is in here is because it shows what can happen when black people and whites or whatever Polish decide to work together in union solidarity. That's what he should have said to her. And then for her, when you talk about her being woke, yes, the Polish were racist. Yes, white people were racist during that time, but there were some people who got together with black people to fight for the rights, but most didn't. That's the problem. And a lot of times what they would do is they would bond, they would come together with us, and then they would get what they would want, and then they would push us the fuck out. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these stories, and I'm not talking about this particular story that he's talking about, but I'm talking about just in general in the labor history. And there's books that are written about this. There are black labor history books. So you have to read the black ones, not just the white ones, because we're cliff notes in the white ones. I took 3 labor history classes in college. We were fucking footnotes. Mm-hmm. You get like one section where they talk about the black shit. Okay? Mm-hmm. So we can go a little bit further, but just when he was just like talking about her being this woke person, she did point out that they were racist. They were. But like I said, he did the right thing by saying, well, this actually happened. But what he should have said is this happened, and this shows what can happen when everybody comes together. It was a teachable moment. So instead of him focusing on that it was a teachable moment, he's focusing on that she's a woke staffer who's talking about people being racist. They were racist. And
well, see, that's the thing. He's trying to make it a teachable moment in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And this is the thing that I need white people to understand. I don't need you to not be racist. I need you to stop getting in my fucking way. Okay? And a lot of times you getting in my way is you getting in your own way. So let's work together, get these better work conditions. We can all take our money and we can go live somewhere away from each other. And I don't want to live next to you if you're fucking racist. And if you're a dumbass nigga that wants to live around white people who hate you and don't want to live with you, whatever happens to you, I don't give a fuck. And I'm sorry to say it, and people can be mad at me for it. But listen, if we get reparations and there's better work conditions and you make more money, there will be other places to fucking live, and you can live around white people that don't hate you if you really have to live around white people. But if you choose to live around people that you know really don't like you, why? Why? So, whatever. Sorry, I know I went off a tangent that way, but yeah. But I just get frustrated with this shit. I just get so frustrated. Damn.
I just
I'm sorry, Sam. You good?
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Mud. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think like this is the bullshit, right? So yeah, she asked the question, and it probably was like a dumb question because it was based on a true story, but she was going on the general idea that there was just like a bunch of racism that was going on that time period. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like Sam says, correct her. Mm-hmm. I don't even think they need to even have this thing where they talk about the racism or any of that. Just correct her and say it's based on a true story. But then once you do that, that's the end of the story. We shouldn't be hearing about it on the podcast where now what you're trying to do is use that story as a way to say, well, it's like a cover of the actual racism now, because what you're saying that because racism didn't happen in this instance, it's overblown when people talk about racism back in that time period.
Mm-hmm. So he's turning this anomaly into a regular occurrence. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's the fucking game that he's playing here, and this is why, it's he's nefarious. Like that's the only way to put it. It's like it's not like it's a thing where he's just like naive. No, he knows what he's fucking doing.
Yeah, this is how he remains relevant.
Pretty much. And something we're gonna have to say, I think we're gonna have to tackle this Coca-Cola be less white thing, because
oh yeah, I haven't heard the whole story, but I heard about it.
What happened?
No, Robin DiAngelo did like a training, and it was called Be Less White. So I was watching that. It's like Flagrant or something with those two dudes that do like sports commentary and something else. But I had put like a comment talking about like white didn't exist before 1681, Bacon's Rebellion, They deleted my comment. So I was like, well, fuck you then, bitch ass motherfuckers. So I guess at some point we got to do a show so people understand that like white is not an ethnicity. Like white is a construct. Like before 1681, there was no white people. So when people say be less white, they're talking about before a time where whiteness was created to create this so-called class and race structure. Mm-hmm. That's what whiteness did.
Yeah, but Sam, it's only class. Race doesn't matter.
Yeah, stop right.
He's the real shit, bud. Yeah, you said a word. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, real shit, man. Like, cause the thing about it is that Adolph Reed, he loves to hug on to this. He's doing this on purpose to fucking try to diminish black struggle. I'm not gonna lie, he's doing it openly. He's diminishing the American Negro. You feel me? Like his ancestors struggle. Yeah, specifically us. You know what I mean? Like he's doing this on purpose to be able to just kind of maneuver around these white spaces, because he thinks that, you feel me? Like real, he's like, yo, y'all not talking about class though, because he's, you feel me? Like, so that's what he's trying to do. He plays games, conflating tokenism with the specific black policy, specific black advocacy for our people. He plays these fucking games, man. You feel me? Like he's talking about the labor union this, and then you want to bring up this labor union. He like to bring up this labor union where FDR was the president. You feel me? Like, that's why I'm gonna get you, Adolph Reed. I'm gonna get you, man. Real talk, man. Like real shit, man. You gotta cut your ponytail off too, man. Come home, man. Real shit. Don't do this, man. You look like Steven Seagal. That shit ain't even. Yeah, come home, man. I come home. My shit is heat. I'm coming home when it's time to come home. Come home with this bullshit. Stop playing, Adolph Reed. Doing this bullshit. Hey, yo, real shit, man. Like, what he's doing this shit. Like, what he's doing this shit. He loves to talk about this one black labor union. And this black labor union,
I knew you were going there.
fucking labor union of train workers. If him, like, he loved to talk about this black labor union who was essentially like, with Malcolm X. You see Malcolm X movie, he put the pie in the nigga face on the train. Feel me? Like they got the unionized and be. Feel me? They got a union around serving white people. like he's not like what? Like what do you like? What do you like? What do you mean? And then to this
union
day,
around
like
serving white people. Hold on, I'm gonna sit in that for a minute, brother.
Yeah, like real shit. Like so, like you got a
people.
union now. Like you made a union. It's basically like it's like real shit. Like Sam, you know I mean, eloquently. Sam is the first one. Sam gave me this book on black labor.
Boxcar Porters,
They being porters on the train. They serving white people at a time where black people couldn't even sit in certain cars in the train, and they got a union. And them same workers couldn't even sit in the same cars in the train as the people they serving. Like he's not even he's not doing that on purpose. Like, you know what I'm saying? And to this day, motherfucker, it's jobs at the Port of Nook, where I'm at. Is people on the like literally the Port of Nook is like one of the fucking least one of the last places in my area where you can get a union job. It's a majority black city. Majority of people that work at the Port of Nook are white and white immigrants to this fucking day, man. You know what I'm saying? Like to this day, Italians, Irish people, Polish people, they got jobs in the Port of Nook and they don't even live in Nook. You know what I'm saying? There's people waiting on them jobs on the waiting list. I had to go down there to that unemployment line and go down there. You know what I'm saying? Go down there to the unemployment office and fucking see motherfuckers looking for jobs. Mad black people down there looking for fucking jobs, man. You know what I'm saying? Like hurting, struggling, trying to get any type of work. Women and men, young people hurting like, man, trying to better their life. You work at a temp agency. You know what I'm saying? Like what? When the Port of Nook right there, where 50% of the workers is white. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Nook is like 50%, 60% black, and the unemployment level is out of fucking control. So like, we feel like, what the fuck you talking about? Like solidarity and unions and all this bullshit. He's fucking, what the fuck is he talking about? Where he live? Where he from? Where he from? I don't know where he's from. I don't know. I think Adolf Reed the alien. I don't know. I think Adolf Reed the alien. I think that he's from he's from Vulcan. So he's from one of them Star Trek. He's from where the fucking Vulcan Worf them from. I don't know where the fuck he like Worf them too. Put the makeup on him like Worf. I like that. I don't like Captain Kirk. Shut up, Adolf Reed. I ain't gonna hit this, man. Bullshit. This is bullshit. You know, I know it's bullshit. All right, I'm going to sleep. Taking a nap. I'm taking a nap. I'm not. I ain't taking the rest of the school. I'm done.
Appreciate it, John. All right, Sam, let's go. Shit.
All right, let's rock.
Union staffer who is objecting to a class story. Mm-hmm. What the hell does that say about where the movement is, or like who's coming into the labor movement, right? Paul's absolutely right about my experience too. Like it doesn't come up, right? And when it does come up, like when I'm at places where ordinary people are talking about Obama, I sit on my hands. I don't go out of my way to, I got to rain on your parade. But we aren't all trying to go to the same place. And as the class character of political of what we understand as Black politics becomes clearer and clearer, I think it's more and more important to point it out. Not so much, so like for the stuff I write, I mean, the popular stuff I write, the two versions of one gratifying response I get from random people are either, thank you so much, like you helped me be articulate about something I was feeling vaguely, but like hadn't been able to put into words or to ideas, or thank you so much because you gave me the courage to think what I'd been thinking, but felt bad and guilty about. And to me, I mean, that's like the audience for my popular writing, right? Because I see it as a movement building project, as a fishing for cadre project, right? And a kind of not even political education so much as encouragement for people who want to be committed to trying to build a better political movement. So
I understand that. That's certainly how I took it, and I was very gratified by it. By all of your writing.
Well, thank you.
Professor Robinson, I think I cut you off earlier.
It's okay. I've not really, I've not written anything, I guess, for popular consumption on politics of identity, although I'm working on a second edition of a book I wrote on Black nationalism. which really takes that up. But I think that the way that I'm attempting to engage these issues is also in my union, both my local that represents faculty and librarians, and and I've sat on the board of the statewide body, the Massachusetts Teachers, as well as the national body, the National Education Association. And there I think it's really to not always openly and explicitly contest these ideas, but for me, and again, I don't know that this is the winning strategy, but I argue by assertion, Medicare for all is the Black agenda. Until you convince me otherwise, $15 an hour is the Black agenda. Do you want an
John, explain to us why Medicare for all is not the Black agenda. Tell us what happens to Negroes in the healthcare, even when it's free.
Well, thank you for that segue, Sam. I think I'm the wrong one. But Medicare for all is not in the Black agenda because of all, like a lot of these leftist policies, man, is all inclusive, and there's nothing carved out, set aside for us specifically benefit from a Medicare for all bill. Now, if it's a Medicare for all bill that got some shit like, real shit, you going to jail for 80 years if you don't protect a Black woman while she giving birth. You feel me? Like any type of malpractice towards Black people that, you feel me, that's rooted in racism, you're going to get this. You feel me? Like even that's something little. That's something small. Like Medicare for all won't work. Like, you feel me? The way that you think it's going to work is because at the end of the day, it is better. It's better. But what's going to happen is that the gaps don't close. So white women, you feel me? Even though Black maternity death was lower, it would still not be equal to everybody else's maternity level during birth. You know what I mean? Like, let's get reparations. Like, this is the issue with this shit, like right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Sam, you already say, like, feel me? All free shit ain't good, and you ain't. Like, all free shit ain't good. We got public schools, we got motherfucking health community centers and shit like that. I don't know if you ever been in one of them motherfuckers. It's horrible. I ain't gonna lie, with Black people, it's like the worst wealth. The worst health care in the country. Like it's horrible. Like compared to American standards, motherfucker, it's horrible. Nigga, that shit is like decent motherfucking third world country healthcare. It's bad. Like it's that fucked up. It's bad. Like, so you get everybody a Medicare, or you give everybody Black people that don't have access to healthcare access to shitty healthcare. You know what I mean? Like so it's like I gotta win. I gave you shitty. Like when we should be having the best healthcare. What you talking about? Like, and you can't do that unless you give specific. You gotta put specific things in that bill to protect this in reparations. Like, or you gonna just like, well, you got shitty healthcare, so I'm gonna give more people that got health. You gonna get more. You gonna get like basic or shitty healthcare, or it's gonna be eye healthcare, but white people gonna have way better healthcare because you ain't closed the gap. That's the problem with Medicare for all, Sam.
We gotta invite the white man doc that I did his podcast. We got to invite him to come over here because he was like, Medicare for all isn't even what we want. We want Medicaid. He was like, because you have to have Medicaid to supplement a lot of shit with Medicare. Because Medicare, he was talking about, you still got to pay certain shit. So it still ain't free. So yeah, so we got to have him come over and talk about that shit because he just did a gloss over, and I was like, whoa.
Medicaid. First of all, he's talking about Medicare. Think about it with Medicare, son. Like, think about with Medicare. You need supplementary insurance with Medicare.
Yes, that's what he was talking about. Like,
not Medicaid, because I know a lot of people that got Medicare and Medicaid. That means you feel me? You getting like this, you getting like medium. If you Black, you feel me? White people get insurance. White people get.
But that's what he's saying. That's why he's saying he said he agreed with us on our stands when it came to like the Medicare for all thing. Like,
I'm about to get everybody Medicaid. He's out of his fucking mind. Hey, you ever been on Medicaid before?
No. He didn't say that. He was saying the fact that with Medicare, it's not enough. You still got to have supplemental insurance. Like he's saying, a lot of people have to have the two together, even just to get shit done, basically. So basically, he was saying he agrees with us because, you still got to, like you said, have some kind of supplemental shit. So like, y'all just need to do free fucking healthcare. Like, fuck this Medicare for all. Free fucking healthcare for all. And you should label it free fucking healthcare for all. And put the F with a couple of little explicitives so we don't offend the children. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and we also, and part of that should be, we need to have free medical schools, right? We need to have free college and free medical schools.
Preach. Because they keep talking about, we need to bring in all of these people from around the country Because we need
Around the
more
world,
doctors. No, people, if Americans can't afford to be doctors and aren't smart enough to become doctors, that says something about the American school system.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And also on top of that, there needs to be consideration for, how the medical system treats us. Like John was saying, there needs to be some sort of, it needs to be some sort of disincentives for doctors to treat us poorly.
It should be outcome based too. So
absolutely,
you should get more money on how many Negroes you are keeping alive and healthy. The more niggas you kill, the less money you should get. That's how you disincentivize them.
That's right.
So if black people got high blood pressure and are fat and keep dying, that means you're gonna be some broke ass doctors. You better help these niggas get healthy fast. That's how they do in other countries. They incentivize you to be healthy because you're on the governmental healthcare system.
Yep.
So let's start tying the shit to the outcome. So if black women are dying at 2 times the rate of everybody else, it's gonna be slim checks for you fucking physicians, ain't it?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mo, what you got?
Well, I mean, just to add on to that, like the outcome side of it, like that's very real. I agree. And then also on the other end, like we talked about education, but I think there's going to have to be like some special education as far as bias is concerned. Like that's the thing that's going to have to be tackled, and it's probably going to be a thing where it's going to have to go through all of their medical education. Like I think like it's going to have to be like training that they have every year. It's going to be a class that is separate from all of their other shit, where they just have to learn how to fucking treat us. Like that's the only way I see it. Like because even with the outcome thing, they're still going to be killing us. They're just going to be making less money. That's all that's going to happen. So,
like, God damn it, man! No, white people like
so
money.
Sad.
We can bribe these motherfuckers. I believe that white people love money more than they hate Negroes. I really do. I really do. Because I love money more than I hate you motherfuckers. No, just playing. I don't hate y'all.
I think they love freedom. They love their freedom more than anything
Except
else.
when y'all be like jogging with your babies and shit, and you be like 23 living in like a multi-million-dollar neighborhood. I be low key hating you and your babies. Fuck you,
it's evilness.
Absolutely. All right. I'm sorry, Bud. You done?
I was just gonna say something, but I realize it's not really the same, because I was gonna talk about how these lawsuits against the police haven't really stopped them from killing motherfuckers. But it's not
sunk cost.
But it's not actually tied to the actual wages. It would be a different thing.
Start tapping that pension.
And Friday had a good idea for this. So I'm going to toss her name out there. Friday had a good idea for this. She was saying that what they should do is all police officers should have to get like insurance, right? Like how you have to have insurance for your car, you have insurance for all this other shit, right? You know how if you go, MG, if you go and you start a business, you got to have an insurance for the business, So they should have to be insured. So you would have to go through a certain criteria to show what kind of risk factor you would be for payouts, and so if you can't be insured, then you can't work for the police department.
Yeah.
Boop, boop.
Yeah. But
so if you out here roughing up Negroes and doing all this other shit, you're a high risk for them having to do a payout. So you got to go.
But I think also if we start tapping that pension, they'll start self-policing.
Fuck yeah, they will.
You start fucking with their money. So wait a minute, nigga. I don't give a fuck how you feel about black people. You shoot that motherfucker, I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, quit playing with our shit. But that's the thing. There has to be consequences, right? Yeah. Like imagine if every time you killed an unarmed black person, irregardless of what happened, you fucking went to jail for 20 years. How long do you think it would be before they stop killing us?
Yeah, like, but I think we've got to going to jail. Yeah, that would change. But I think a change in culture, we'd have to find a way to a change in culture, right?
Well, yeah, no, we would get
Yeah.
there in a change of culture, but
Mhm.
if you start seeing that every time somebody fucks up, they go into jail for 20 plus years, you're gonna be like,
it would
yeah,
change, yeah.
it's not worth it. You're gonna think about it before you do it.
Yeah, for sure. But I think
we can work on changing the culture, but changing the culture has to be done through education. And we gotta wrestle the education back away from these fucking racists in the South.
Yeah, it's just got to, but it's just got to cost, right? It's got to be a cost, right? I think the pension is the key, because that's why most cops, they live for that pension. That's everything to them, and that's why they protect it with their very lives, literally. If we start tapping that pension, everything would change overnight, because you would get fucked up in the locker room if you fuck with the church's money. Turn that hypermasculinity into something that's good for us. I just want to put that out there. All right, what else we got, man? What else we got? John, you got something?
Nah, Mud, you had something, Mud?
Nah, I said what I had to say. Let's go.
Do you want an anti-racist effort? Let's eliminate these, standardized tests that cost millions of dollars to administer and kind of, destroy any hope of creativity and meaningful curriculum. So, in a way, it's kind of a dodge, right? Because I think, that this kind of identity stuff is really, it is a class politics. It is unfortunate. It is an obfuscation. But in, I think, most of my interventions, it's more like just trying to contest the terrain about what Black politics is, right? And actually to remind people that it's only in sort of the neoliberal, it's the last 4 or 5 decades that we have lost sight of the fact that economic inequality and matters of economic inequality were central to the Black agenda. Somehow Sanders gets smeared as not committed to the Black agenda. Like that's a narrative that coalesces within recent decades, but that was never the case.
Somehow.
That was never the case. Yeah.
The somehow is what's interesting to me, right? Like we're all in agree. Like I can sit here and agree with you, Professor Robinson, that of course there was a part of me during the campaign that was like, okay, people want a Black.
Hold on.
Yeah. Let me say this real quick. These motherfuckers are doomed. They haven't learned shit. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, man, like real shit. Like, wait, see that? You see what he just did though? What we were just talking about the whole show. Like, he really said that, like, basically us fighting for what we call like Negro liberation, or you feel me, or some type of real tangible, real concrete policy, economic policy. Economic policy. Like, he's conflating this with identity politics, and to confuse the fucking viewer or the watcher. He's saying that, motherfucking, you know what, yo, this pro-Black shit is toxic because it's like Bill Clinton playing the saxophone. Well, you not understand the people that he's the people that he's trying to. I know he's talking about us. He's talking people like us, people that think like us. We don't even fucking, bro. We tear Bill Clinton up for playing the saxophone. We want our shit, like, you feel me? Like, we tear Bill Clinton ass and all the motherfucking identity.
And we really don't want to get into how he's a whole fucking rapist.
We're whole racist. You feel me? Like real shit. Like, we can break that down.
Rapist too.
Bro, how you know? So it's like, yo,
yeah. he take the pills. He take pills.
Yo, stop. Cut it off. cut it off.
Get his kicks off YouTube. God damn it, Sam.
Hey, yo, but like, what?
It's much job to clean this shit up.
You see that? I thought today I'm the best one. This is the crazy part. This is great. I'm the most one that's trying to bring peace to everybody.
You're the mature one.
I'm the guy. This is, I try to tell you. I mean, y'all don't listen. Wait, though. But like, motherfucking, what this guy was doing and shit, like, they tell me he was very nefarious. It was very intentional as well. He's trying to motherfucking say, like, yo, real shit. He's trying to focus Black politics into, feel me, like, because he's like, yo, real shit. It's a time where Black people were worried about what they were supposed to get, to focus, like, this is, feel me, to focus us on this, be focused on what everybody's supposed to get. And it's like, no, like, the reason we got into the class struggle is because we were so fucked up. Feel me, like, our economics was so fucked up by the social issues and the social, the social conditions. Feel me, that played a role in our economic position. Like, Now, remember, like, I think that nobody else in this country, other people in this country may have a story, but it's not our story. Like, you feel me? Like, it's not our story. And they try to conflate that shit with our story to give some weight to their shit. So they feel like, you know what I mean? So they could feel like it got some type of like umph to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it really, when it's really like, you feel me? You losing because capitalism. I came from this country. I came from over here. I didn't have nothing. But niggas over here, like, you know what I mean? Like, you came over here and you sharecropping. You know what I mean? Like, you came over here, it was literally neo-slavery. Like, you came to the country where neo-slavery was at the height and black codes. You can get hung. I can get hung for looking at you. If people say I can get hung for looking at you, and you're not even white, like, you could be like, yo, this black person made me feel uncomfortable. They could hang me. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. I don't give a fuck how poor you was, man. So that's all I got to say about the shit. The shit, wow. Anybody else got something? I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna drink my happy juice. I'm sad.
Appreciate it, John.
All right.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, I actually want to just let her talk because she's about to get to where I want to get her.
Okay.
Oh no.
If memory serves me correct, I think she's about to show her ass, her whole ass, or her slip. Maybe that's better. Her slip about to show. She's about to show her slip.
Oh, you know what? I'm about to be quiet the whole episode.
Yeah, her slip is showing. So, all right, here I'm about to play it. Let's go.
Somehow.
That was never the case. Yeah.
The somehow is what's interesting to me, right? Like we're all in agree. Like I can sit here and agree with you, Professor Robinson, that of course there was a part of me during the campaign that was like, okay, people want a Black agenda. Let's print up some flyers that just lists our entire platform and just write Black agenda at the top of it. But you and I, all of us here.
So she thinks niggas is stupid. That's what she just said. Because that's what you motherfuckers tried. You.
Sam, get him. Get him, sis, get him. Hey, get him. Go get him, Sam. Hey, yo, what up?
Do y'all not remember Bernie saying that that $15 an hour is a Black agenda, that free college is a Black? This is what y'all tried, and we told you to bend over and take it up your ass with no motherfucking lube. How did that work out for you?
Why is it so graphic? Wow, like, why you Sam painting pictures?
Because it's serious, and I need them to feel and understand the weight and friction of the bullshit that they perpetuate. Because this is some bullshit. I'm gonna let her keep talking, but she basically said, why didn't we just go out here and put Black agenda, because you niggas is stupid anyways, and you don't know what you really need in your community, so we gonna Negro explain and tell you Negroes what you need, and I'm gonna be the Black face because I'm a Black person, and I'm gonna stand up here for these white supremacists with Adolph Reed, and I'm gonna play for their team, and that has nothing to do with you not being Black.
Yeah, we've had people playing for the other team, Black people playing for the other team since we've been here.
The whole time. Let's not pretend like some people didn't want to, snitch off to the master to let them know what was going on and get a few privileges. So it is what it is. And I'm not calling this bitch no Uncle Tom. Like, you ain't got to be all of that. You are just an enemy of Negroes. Sorry.
It is what it is.
Tis what it is. I didn't say the shit. I didn't say that you should just come up with an agenda and just put Black at the top. Like, so shit, we'll put that same agenda up and just put Latino at the top. See if they give a fuck about that shit. They obviously did it because they didn't vote for you neither. And you managed to come up with a whole agenda for their asses. All right, we almost through with this shit. We got like less than 2 minutes. And she still got to say some more bullshit. So let her eke out some more, because I feel like we're going to get her some more.
All right.
Here, know how that's going to be perceived. How that's going to be spun in the media is that Bernie doesn't care enough to come up with a Black agenda. Bernie doesn't understand that there are discrete issues that affect the Black community that don't affect everybody else, and he has no plan for it, right? And there's some truth to that, right? Like, do I believe that a universal program will do scads more for Black people than a million particularized programs, many of which are just living in people's brains and aren't even real things that they could even articulate?
So the only reason they're living in people's brains, right, is because they're not being done. Aren't the things that you're talking about just living on paper that came from people's brains because they're still not being pushed or implemented?
Yeah, but Dr. Derry's been doing this shit for years. Just talk to him. He got a whole book about this shit. I mean, it's not like.
But they're talking to a political scientist and a lawyer and a fucking high school teacher.
The son of a high school teacher.
Hey, you know what? She said that she admitted. My bad, man. Go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead, because you about to say what I'm going to say. Go ahead.
You can say it better, nigga. I'm taking a nap. I'm taking a fucking nap because you know what I'm about. You know.
She just admitted the whole game. Like she understands that there are certain deficits that need specific policies, and that's largely for our community because we've gone through all these fucking atrocities in this fucking country that were enforced on us by the fucking government and the larger society. So like it's a project where everybody needs to be involved as far as fixing us, but they don't want to do that. They want to skip past that and just focus on this class thing, but they know that this is not the solution for us. They just don't fucking care. They're not even lying to us like class shit is the best policy for all of us. She's not even trying to do that lie. She's just telling us straight up, fuck that. We're going to go this route anyway.
No, the gag is read the comments though. There's so many people in the comments being like, "Oh my God, more Black people should watch you." And yeah. The comments are fucking nauseating.
Keep listening to those people. You're gonna continue.
And you're gonna keep fucking losing.
Exactly.
It reminds me of that shit. Did you guys ever see The Network? When he was like, if you guys are so great, then why do you guys lose so goddamn always? Like, that's how I feel. Like that shit, that fucking breakdown that he has at the beginning of that show is how I feel about America and politics all the time. Like, I can hear that shit playing in my head right now. I might watch that shit when we get off this. I'm just going to go watch that clip.
Man, why you so fucking mean? I never saw you mean to me tonight. God damn, like why you gotta be so wild? Like they just trying to be white people that don't.
Because I hate Brianna, and I don't even know her. Like, how do you hate somebody that you don't know? Like, I just hate her. I really do because like she's so disingenuous, and she's just really too smart to play these games. And when you listen to her, you see how dumb she thinks Black people are because she's telling us what it is right here and there. Like, she's telling us what it is. Like, so if you can respect her after this, you're just dumb.
Yep. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
it's like if I be like, "Hey, John, I'm gonna stick my hand in your pocket and steal your money." Okay?
Hell no,
we good, right?
Yeah, I'm getting my shorty. I'm like, yo, now real shit, real time respect you as a Black woman. Hey, babe, come get her. She's trying to rob me. I'm gonna get my. I'm not gonna deal with.
I'm gonna fuck up this girl's curl.
Like, I'm not even gonna sneak my hand in your pocket and steal your money out your wallet. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna put my hand in your pocket, to take out your wallet and steal your money.
Yeah, she's like,
where they do that?
Relax. I'm gonna steal your money. Okay, you're never gonna get it back. I'm stealing your money because I can. And white people can, but I'm Black, so I can like more, but like don't like white people going to take like I'm gonna give you $1 back and I'm gonna take the 300, they gonna take the 301. You don't want that. Like what?
Yep.
Like,
Am I having an irony moment? Is Brianna the Black face of white feelings?
Yeah, she did. Oh God.
Because Irony said it about Obama, but I'm starting to feel like that helps for Bree too, because all her arguments are the same arguments that I was fighting with these fucking C words on this fucking Twitter. We need a name for Bree. I'm gonna find a name for her, but we need a name.
Breezy.
And it can't be nothing Uncle Thomas, but it gotta be something real on some like snitch and get you killed nigga shit. Like she need a name. She can't be the dude from Judas the Black Messiah, but we're gonna come up with a name for her. Because right now she's really out here trying to be a Judas goat.
Yes,
But
she
I mean,
is.
but the good thing is that nobody of consequence is listening to her. That's a good thing.
I guess so, not black people, because she a Judas
Yeah.
goat. Don't listen to her. She will lead you straight to the slaughter.
Yeah, I
White
think.
people love her, man. They love Adolph Reed, son.
But
Yo, you already know this place.
I don't have any way to prove this, but I'm pretty sure the left is seeing a black exodus, at least for black people of chattel slavery descent. I can pretty much guarantee they're seeing an exodus.
Yeah, I want some Brexit shit. I ain't going to the Republicans, but I'm definitely on some Brexit shit. Like, fuck the Democratic Party. Fuck the leftists too. You leftists, progressives, whatever the fuck you guys call yourselves today, y'all ain't doing shit for my people. So low key, fuck you too.
Yeah, that's I hear.
We're not going to take it.
I hear whispers of black people creating a black caucus where, okay, we're all black folks that are tired of shit from both parties. Come take our vote. Come earn our vote, or you just won't get a vote, or we just won't vote for you. I won't vote for any of you, and force them to fight for our vote.
Yeah, that's what we got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not.
However, we get in that position.
That's hard. They ain't got no money.
I think that's where we're going. Yeah, I don't think we have any other choice because we're facing the end. You know, for a lot of these folks, they're facing the beginning. A lot of these folks just getting over here. This is the beginning for them. This is the beginning of their American tale. All right. For us, we're facing the end, and we ain't going quietly into the dark. Period. Period.
The MG, but the whole thing, like we talk about the black power, them like our economic condition is so where like we have to tap into one of these white or non-black apparatuses to even get money to even get in the field and play with them. You know what I mean? Like even get in the field, and then when you already know you tap into that money, it's over now. So now you gotta really.
But I'm just talking about voters. I'm not talking about politicians. I'm just talking about voters as a voting bloc to say, come get this. If we can shave off maybe 5 to 10% of the black vote to say, okay, we as black people, we as reparationists, we're tired of this shit from both parties. Come get our vote. If you don't want to come get it, you don't get it. We'll just sit this one out. You know, of course, people vote local, do what you got to do. But as far as top of the ticket, and maybe the top three segments of the ticket, you know, all the federal shit, sit it out. You know, not just president, not just POTUS, but also for the House and the Senate.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with it. Like I said, like we should be some local and state voting people. That's it. Mm-hmm. Fuck that federal shit. And I don't give a fuck. And yes, I am. Yes, am I discouraging people to vote for federal elections? Yes, I am. Yeah, because fuck you. You guys keep taking my vote for granted. So go fuck yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna vote for my state and local shit. So when they fuck up, I can roll up on their ass. Mm-hmm. Which you should not do, and I'm not telling you to do that because if they put you on the no-fly list, that's on you. That's between you and your God.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the bottom line is people could say
because when I say roll up, I mean sit in the office peacefully and wait for an appointment. Mm-hmm. In a dress with my hair done. Okay, that's what the fuck I mean by roll up. There's gotta be somewhere. Yeah, we tried everything else. Yeah. I mean, roll up like a civilized goddamn citizen and sit down with some goddamn sense.
Yeah.
And wait for my turn to let you know how I feel. Yeah. But that's what I mean by roll up. If you mean 5%. Some crazy shit, you on some other shit that I ain't fucking with and I ain't promoting. So.
Niggas alone. Niggas don't know what they talking about.
So let's talk about terminology, right? So now y'all know what Sam mean when she say roll up. Mm-hmm. I ain't from the hood. I'm from the suburbs.
Some weed. That's what I'm rolling up. Yeah.
All right, we want to play the last of this bullshit. We only got like a minute and 20 seconds.
We could be powerful. Powerful. All right, let's ride.
Okay.
Brains and aren't even real things that they could even articulate? Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. But my goal, my job, my preoccupation, perhaps because I am was in the comms department, was to deal with the reality before us, which is to say, What can I say or do to insulate Bernie Sanders against that criticism while that still allows him to pursue that universalist project? And so to your point, Paul, I don't disagree that the focus on maternal mortality, is maternal mortality an issue? Absolutely. Is the disproportionate focus on it in the course of the campaign cynical? Yes. Yes. I think that both of those things can be true. But knowing that's the case, what is the harm in making sure that Bernie has a couple of op-eds out, in essence, talking about how important the Black maternal mortality disparity is? And sometimes I feel like the left resists doing that easy thing that would at least give us something to point to when the accusations come flying our way that says, okay, well, Bernie actually did do that. Okay, but Bernie does have a plan for that. So be quiet and let me talk about Medicare for all, which is at the root of helping my community through a bigger crisis.
Let's throw this bullshit over here that we don't really have a plan for in some Black shit so you Negroes can see it and think that we fuck with you. She's saying the quiet part out loud.
Yep, absolutely.
She just really told us their whole game. She really was on some shit like, how can we focus on class? How can we get these niggas off our back and not really give them nothing? Just like the Democrats, the liberals that we claim to be, not like that don't get
benign neglect.
Real shit. Like, how can we do benign neglect? Like, I mean, how can we do it?
Like, how can we do it with benign neglect? Yeah, absolutely.
I want to do benign neglect, but Adolph Reed, can you tell? Yeah, this is how you do it. You just act like you just say everybody get a union and that solve your problem. Get a union.
Everybody get a union in a ponytail.
A spike ponytail too. He need to come home with that bullshit. He need to stop with this bullshit, man. Nigga, be you, nigga. Get the ball, nigga. Come on, man. Stop doing this shit, Reed. You looking crazy, man. Don't do this, bro.
All right, let's go down the line and everybody get their last thoughts in so I can take my Black ass to bed. All right, Sam, ladies first. What you got?
I hate Breonna Greyjoy. So y'all can call me biased.
That's valid.
I'm very proud of myself. I tried not to call her out of her name. I try to stick to the point that I just hate that she has terrible Black politics. She has white politics or upper middle class Black politics. It's obvious she doesn't have Black poor people around her really talking to her about what they're really going through and struggling with in their day-to-day lives. And if she did, she would move differently than how she moves, and she would advocate differently than how she advocates. So that's fine. Do you fight the way you fight, but I don't fuck with you, never will. And any Black people I've never had a Black person talk to me about you. And if they do, I'm like, I don't know why you listen to them. Like, you not the one. Like, you just not the one. It's that, like, you not the one. Neo, you definitely are not. So, that's it. I don't know what else to say. Like, to address what she said, she basically said we should have just lied to Negroes so they would have voted for us. I don't respect shit like that. Like, that's basically what she said, right? Did I miss it? Like, that's pretty much what I got. And Adolph Reed basically called Black people that are like the bottom caste in this country, called us like future Nazis for like wanting to not be poor in America, in a first world country that our ancestors built, that everybody else gets to come here and build a life on. But okay.
No, we don't need to fuck with you either.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. With a rusty pike. All right, you good, Sam?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I really gotta say.
All
Fuck
right.
you and your couch.
Mud, what you got, man?
I mean, she admitted in this whole thing that their policy won't address our deficits and that they would probably need something more specific to really address our problems. And then she went on to say that Bernie should have had a solution for that, but apparently the solution wasn't to actually have a policy that addresses our problems. The solution was to put an ad in Essence magazine, some symbolic bullshit that they would be the first ones to criticize.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically her solution to Black problems in America.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I hate these fucking people. I don't know. Like, I've taken hundreds of hours out of my time to dedicate to talking shit about these motherfucking people because
I want to take it.
I see the bullshit. I see it. And no one is really talking about it when they should be talking about it.
Yep, absolutely. And eventually, man, that's your work, and this work is going to break through, Mud. Eventually, it's going to break through, and people are like, damn, why the fuck do we listen to these people? All right, hopefully it's not too late. Shit. All right, this has been Reset Race, where we roasted Bree Joy and the Crypt Keeper and some other nondescript people that I forgot their names already. So, I mean, the bottom line is, as everybody said in their final thoughts, the left, as we saw it and as we knew it, the left was just trying to find a way to keep us at bay long enough so they can get in what they wanted to get in. And again, it didn't work for them.
Listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race, you're now tuned in to Reset Race. What? Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, put them back on the grill again. We grilling them, back on the grill again. We grilling them, You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake. On the edge, go back to U.S. Southern plantations. Penniage, Jim Crow, and mass incarceration. Redlining lynchings, we are old from this nation. You're not about justice if you ain't for reparations. MG, the wise one, cousin, mother, intellectual. Samantha bringing fire, anti-black, we pressing you. No permanent friends and no permanent enemies. The backbone of the country, the win. You need our energy. You gon' see. Listening to Reset Race. You now tuned in to Reset Race. You're listening to Reset Race. You're now tuned in to Reset Race. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Put them back on the grill again. We grilling them. Back on the grill again. We grilling them. You're listening to Reset Race. ADOS need reparations to make America great. You're tuned in to Reset Race. We no longer starving while others eat off our plate. No. You're listening to Reset Race. We focused on our justice claim. We know what is at stake. You're tuned in to Reset Race. You'll find out who really about justice and really who fake.
Until you do right by me, everything you think about is gonna crumble.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.